TIFU by accidentally faking my own FM. This one is hot off the press, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a long one. I'm up at our family's cabin in northern Michigan waiting out the virus in a small town. My brother-in-law and I were ice fishing this afternoon as the stores are becoming empty and Mother Nature is very generous with fish in our lake. For those of you that don't know a lot about ice fishing, let me clarify something about a frozen lake. Right now the ice is thick, 8 to 10 inch sheets. Throughout the day, the sheets will crack from the sun, then refreeze overnight. The cracks make a demonic noise that scares the hell out of you when you're sitting there in the silence. The cracks won't break all the ice underneath you unless you're trying to drive a bulldozer across the lake. With that said, I was FaceTiming my uncle to show off our buckets of fresh perch. My uncle doesn't know much about frozen lakes and is scared we'll fall in. While talking I mentioned that we've been hearing cracks this afternoon. In the middle of our conversation, I turned my phone to my brother-in-law and I guess that the motion combined with my numb hands caused my phone to slip out. I reactively screamed as my new device slid into the hole never to be seen again. Jumping into action, my brother-in-law and I were trying to figure out ways to get it out as we were only in about 10 feet of water. About 2 minutes later, I hear yelling from the shore. My sister is frantically trying to figure out how to get out to our tent on the ice. Confused at this point, my brother-in-law and I remember that we were FaceTiming my uncle. When I dropped my phone, he called my brother-in-law, but we were too preoccupied to answer. We later learned that the combination of telling him about the cracks, the scream, and my phone going underwater and disconnecting caused him to believe we fell in. We came out of the tent, consoled my sister, and called my uncle who must have lost 5 years of his life from the whole situation. I'm now sitting here on my laptop trying to figure out ways to get a new phone before my state locks us down. But first, I had to tell Reddit. TL. Doctor, I told my uncle the ice was cracking, dropped my phone in the fishing hole, and he thought I was dead. Edit. Thanks for all the advice and wishes, hatter. Also here is the sound that the ice makes when it cracks. But first, I had to tell Reddit. I see you got your priorities right, lol. Damn straight. People laughing at my pain, sitting in a phone store. Up north ice fishing, pure Michigan. My parents have a place up north on a lake and the only place we get a solid signal is in the middle of the lake, which seems to be pretty common. Probably the same for you. Your uncle only saw the water envelope the phone before it shorted out, so I can imagine his panic. Sucks about the phone, may be hard to get a new one now. Edit. FYI, Pure Michigan is our state's travel advertising campaign. Also, when people from southeast Michigan, where about half the residents live, vacation to a cottage or cabin, they go up north. Also, we drink pop, not soda. Verner's is a cure for almost any ailment. Efficacy has not been tested against COVID-19. We go to the party store to buy our alcohol, and Euchre is the preferred card game of choice. TIFU. By telling my employer I'm exhibiting COVID-19 symptoms. Hi Reddit. So I work for a company that considers themselves an essential business and has been refusing to let anyone work from home. Before I go any further, let me stress that this is an office job, and without going into too much detail, we are far from essential, but the company has apparently found a state loophole that allows them to declare themselves a need during this pandemic, due to the fact that we do sell some at-home medical supplies, albeit far from any safety equipment and sanitizers that might help in this situation. They have no concern for their employees and have kept us commuting back and forth to a building with hundreds of other people. Our well-being and health has been tossed to the wayside, and we have been threatened that if we don't come in we are at risk of losing our jobs. Early this morning, I panicked as the work environment goes against everything we are advised to do. Located in a shelter-in-place state, in my frenzy I lied to my supervisor hoping not to put myself at any more risk, and claimed to be experiencing COVID-19 symptoms such as shortness of breath and whatever else I heard on the news. I told them I would be going to a testing place to confirm I'm negative. I sent the email on complete emotion and have since regretted it. I was met with a short email back from my supervisor with hours copied on it that said I will need a doctor's note to return to work. I'm not even sure what that means for my pay. I now feel utterly helpless and that I'm going to get Found out / fired in this tough time. I'm barely making ends meet, but let fear get the best of me. I know there's no way I can get in to see any doctor today, let alone get a test, as they are in such short supply. I completely fucked up and have no idea what to do. TL doctor, didn't show up to work, lied about covered symptoms, probably getting fired, unless I can produce a doctor's note stating I've tested negative for the virus. Go get tested. The doctor testing you will assume you're one of those PPL freaking out due to a mild cough while there. Hopefully you'll be scolded by the doctor and given an official doctor's notes and a verbal message that you're an idiot. Go to the doctor and tell them that you're an idiot who lied to your boss about being sick to get out of work and need a note saying you don't have coronavirus. They'll probably think it's hilarious. Do this. Your doctor will not care about your work. They will just want what is best for you. We had someone do this at a PTA meeting. Got the whole school shut down for decontamination, and everyone lost a day right at the end of the quarter. TIFU by getting kicked out of the house on quarantine. Currently, so I have nowhere to turn to but the internet, as I have no friends, and I hate my immediate family, so I'm in my car sleeping on the road. Illinois just started its quarantine, so I'm afraid to go to a hotel and my extended family is afraid to shelter me too. Backstory, I'm a 30+ and my wife, she's 35 weeks pregnant with our second baby. So we've been fighting in and off ever since my mom died 8 years ago, because when my mom died my sister got the family home and I got a promise that we would sell the vacation home when we're all ready and it would go to me to help my family. That's the big thing. The other part is my dad and sister have been racist and pushing my wife away with racism, and it was really tough till last year I stopped seeing them. Here's where the TIFU happened. I went to go to the grocery store, and as I was leaving, a student of the local college stopped me and asked me for a ride home cause his car broke down. He didn't speak clear English as he's foreign from Asia, and I let him in my car for 30 minutes till I drove him home. I should have given him money for a cab or even called a cab for him, but I decided to be nice and not think about the quarantine or that he could get me and my family sick. I did it cause I thought I would be a nice guy and help someone out, but I didn't think of the seriousness with the illness. When I got home my wife didn't believe me, couldn't understand why I did it, and was furious that I did it. I tried to defend myself saying I was being nice and didn't do it to hurt her or our family. She left with my son and told me to pack my bags and leave. This was her last straw. That is when I realized what I did. That I put the needs of a complete stranger over the health of my family. So I stated picking when she told me I had 5 minutes to leave. I mad grabbed what I could and left. Then texting back and forth with her, she told me I need to fight my battles for myself. And that she is tired of hearing about me talk about dad and sister problems and I need to end it. So I drove to my dad's to do that. My dad denied, as he always did, that him having the vacation home and my sister having the family home is fair and I shouldn't be complaining. And that I should go home and we'll talk later. I told him I hated him. I told my wife this and she was mad I didn't, ended it completely with my dad and said I'm not allowed in her life anymore. So I texted her till 4 AM in my car and she said she's going to divorce me because she can't handle it anymore. TL, doctor, I gave a stranger a ride home from the grocery store during the pandemic. My wife and have been fighting on and off for 8 years about my dad and sister. And today, first day of Illinois quarantine, she kicked me out. Update, I disowned my dad and sister. My wife was so relieved I finally stood up to them and told me to come home, and we are currently talking things through. I feel I'll be sleeping in the couch for a while, but at least I'm home with my family and learned that's all that matters. Dude, you gotta stick up for yourself more. At this point you're letting your sister and dad have what was promised you, letting your soon-to-be ex-wife have your living space, and all kinds of other things aren't going your way. And I hate to say it, but it seems like lots of it comes from a desire to be good. I commend that, but if you're gonna be good it comes with boundaries too, and you deserve to have those respected. Maybe off base and talking out of my ass, but I hope you get shit sorted, man. He got a promise. I agree this guy's nice to a fault, but he's also painfully naive and out of touch with the reality of the situation. Absent a will, the father is entitled to 100% of whatever was left from his mom's estate. The daughter getting the house was essentially a gift from the father, not the mother. I'm still assuming there's no will, because it was never mentioned. If there was a will, and he was given the second home, then he's going to be dealing with squatters' rights and such associated with that home. My gut says there is no will, that the op has not been paying property tax or anything else over the last 8 years, and that this house has become the MacGuffin that he has used to blame for all his life's problems. His best bet is to cut losses and move on with his life. It sounds like he's taking the first steps down that road. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.